Company.
I sent to y'all.
Can you hear me?
Welcome to KYND Radio 1520, PN Global News, Rodney Woods, and my guest today again, Gwen Mitchell and Mr. Jesse McRae. Welcome to PN Global News.
Thank you.
Good morning.
So glad to have you, ladies and gent, here this morning.
Glad to be here.
It's great to be
We
here.
had such a good time last week, Gwen, talking about what Playbook Investors Network would do to help a lot of minority woman-owned government businesses around the country. So today we're going to kind of recap a lot of things that we discussed last night. Wow. Last night. The things we discussed last Thursday. Forgive me.
Better.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're off to a stellar start.
I know, we're already
Stellar
off to a stellar start. I know, man. Jess, I think it's a long drive we had this morning at 4 a.m.
Had to have been.
We had a long drive coming in from Dallas, Texas this morning to do the show here at KYND 1520 with PN Global News. We drove in about, 4:30 this morning, right?
4:30.
But we saw a lot of interesting things while we were driving, as we talk about minority suppliers and things that we can get more minority suppliers involved in building the things that we saw on the freeway this morning. New plastic guardrails.
All the things that are essential to infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Somebody built that.
Somebody built it. That was our common thing last week. Somebody built this, right?
Right.
But today is a great day. We have, like I said, Jesse, we have you here in the studio today. Jesse wasn't able to attend last week when we had, all the fellows, Antonio Davis and Damon and Doc, as well as Sean. And I think Sean will be joining us sometime during the break. But last week, such a good time talking about, trying to help minority businesses get to the next level, the things they got to have to get to the next level. And we want to continue to talk about those things. But today, when we talk about Playbook Investors Network, we'll pretty much go from the beginning to the end today to kind of, share with our listeners exactly what it really takes to get to the next level.
Sure.
Sounds
Go ahead.
good.
Go ahead, Gwen. I'm sorry.
I was going to say it sounds good.
And again, it's great to be here. I know I wasn't here last week for the inaugural show.
Yep.
And so even though I wasn't here physically, I was here in spirit. And so I want to congratulate you guys on a fabulous, fabulous launch of the show for a couple of reasons. One, because I want to congratulate you for having a fabulous show.
Thank you.
But then two, and perhaps more importantly, it really seemed as though that the audience was engaged. And the whole point of this, or theme of this program, as we all know, is to make sure that we are offering yet another extension of a resource to raise awareness about the fact that we are in touch with the opportunities that exist. But more importantly, we want to help folks that are looking for these opportunities and resources, help them gain access. And so this is yet another tentacle. So I want to, as my partner, I want to just congratulate you.
Thank you.
On what is a real show of a commitment. It is a reflection of your character and an ongoing theme of what we are as far as Playbook Investors Network. And so I'm excited to be here. It is a privilege, and we hope that the next 57 minutes will be equally as rewarding for our listeners this week as it was last week.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you so much, Jesse. So today, let's talk about minority businesses. What is really a true minority business? We talk about minority businesses, and there is a designation for companies who deem themselves as a minority-owned business, as a ethnicity play. Either you're African-American, you're Hispanic, or you're Indian-owned business, or you're a woman-owned business. You have all those different designations of a minority business. So we'll kind of start the other day and talking about what is truly a minority business. And Gwen, you being a nice young lady and a woman-owned business as well as a minority business, you have a double dip standard here, right?
And I do, but you know what? I never even noticed that for the first 15 years. It
Wow,
took
15 years before you found out you could be a minority of business or a woman-owned business.
It took a corporate that I was working with to come to me and tell me that they wanted to count my spend and that they wanted me to go get certified as a minority business. And so I was like, well, what does that entail?
Right.
I mean, you could look at me and tell I'm a minority, right?
I don't know about that one. I don't know, Jay. What do you think?
I tell you, there is a multicultural reach.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
there you go.
You would appeal to many audiences. Let me just say.
So 15 years.
Mm-hmm. And so it just so happened I was shopping that day and I ran into a lady, Joyce Scott with Superb Speakers, just to give her a shout out.
Mhm.
And Joyce actually was with Houston Minority Supplier Diversity Council. So she told me a little bit more about what I needed to do, the steps that I needed to take to go be certified.
Right,
and she
correct.
assisted me with that process.
So when you got certified as a minority business, what process did you actually go through? You recall, I know it hadn't been too long, but what did you go through to get certified as a minority business?
Well, the first step was to become aware.
Mhm.
And then there was a process of getting together a bunch of documents, my financials and history on the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in and filled out that documentation, took it over to HMSDC, and they are a nationally recognized certification.
Right.
So I ended up paying a fee and became certified.
And that's typically how it works. I mean, we know that the councils do a lot of, work on the ground to make sure that you are truly a minority-owned business, to make sure that, you, Gwen, are running your business, operating your business, and the money that's going into your business, that's really you. It's truly you and not, someone else, as we call it, with pass-through companies.
Right.
And we will have on the show at some point Ingrid, the new president of HMSDC.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So hopefully we'll get Ingrid on. And I think you guys have a pretty good relationship as well, right?
We do.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
So we have to get Ingrid on to really talk about, certifying minority business here in the state of Texas as well as Houston. And I think Texas is broken up into three different components of getting certified as a minority business. So you got the Houston Council. You have our council that in Dallas that I got certified through almost 15 years ago as a minority business, DFW Minority Business Council. And then you have Karen Box down in San Antonio, Austin, El
I think it's called
Paso.
Southwest.
Yeah, Greater Southwest Minority Council. So you have three different councils that certify you in the state of Texas as a minority business. And there's also other verticals,
Right.
woman-owned businesses, LGBTQ businesses, government businesses, 7A, 8A, 504 businesses, disadvantaged businesses.
A number of demographics.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it goes on. But all of those are very, very critical to corporations who are trying to count their spend or government entities who have set aside monies for, diversity inclusion businesses.
And then that's another point that you bring up because there's also the city, state,
Oh, city, state. Oh,
and
there we go.
federal certifications.
Federal, city, state. Oh my God, So we have all those type of certifications that's available for a lot of companies to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And we advocate. If you're a minority business, get certified. It's not a hard process, but get certified as a minority business so that you might have an opportunity to do some work, whereas you might be in a long line of vendors, right, Jesse?
Absolutely.
You've been a long line of vendors, but if you become a minority vendor, then you might have a shorter line to actually, demonstrate your capabilities to major corporations or big tier 1 suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell everybody, everybody can't, as a minority business, can't just always go do work for, a Toyota. It takes too long. It takes too long for you to make your money, but you can work with a tier 1 supplier, which is a little bit better and easier for you to do and make your money a little bit faster. So we'll continue to talk about all those different initiatives and all those strategies.
And since I'm about process.
That's absolutely
There we
process.
One thing that you can do when you sit down to actually fill out a certification is just do them all at one time, because they all are requesting just slight variations of the same information.
Right.
So
correct.
when I sit down to renew, I go in, I renew my city, state, federal, and then certain corporations you have to get certified, or entities like Metro, or the Port of Houston. So I
Right.
do all of that at the same time.
Now, you guys, and you gentlemen, Jesse, and you, Miss Gwen, you know that we have to continue to break all these things down for the listening audience who was, considering being a minority business or already a minority business, trying to get to the next level, or even, startup businesses. Because as we said last week, this is truly an entrepreneur society. A lot of people are going to become entrepreneurs and going to have their own companies, and they want to grow them. They just want to know, how do I really grow this company? How do I really gain access to capital? What are the tools or the process improvements I need in my company to get to the next level? Right. Jesse, you want to expound on that, Jay?
That is broad. That is very, very broad. Very broad.
Jesse always smart. He stayed right near his legs.
That's broad. And I know that at some point later in the program, we're going to talk more so about the financing end of this process.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's really going to be more in my wheelhouse for more of the mature entities, the going concerns.
Yes.
But generally speaking, and I think that this would apply to any enterprise, is first and foremost once you've gotten past the concept, and it's now officially being rewritten from the napkin to the pad, from the pad to the whiteboard, from the whiteboard to PowerPoint, from PowerPoint to that first audience, which is usually friends and family that you're pitching this to.
Right.
And we haven't even gotten to alpha testing the product.
No, we have not.
We're just still trying to become comfortable.
Right.
And conveying the concept. And once you get to that point, what a lot of people don't realize is that they've become better at actually their elevator pitch. Because this is something that is a passion, or at least it should be.
Yeah, it should be. If it's your business, right?
If it's your business, it should be.
You should care.
You must. So generally speaking, once you've gone through that process, as Gwen so eloquently speaks to, I think that clearly the next important step will be to take that conviction and to go through the process of becoming certified. Now you have, in my opinion, institutional validation. I mean, I just don't know any other way to put it, because if perception is reality and they're looking for pedigree,
right,
they're looking for validation, they're looking for some form of credibility. And in the minority space, that is of immeasurable value. From there, then now you're going through the natural travails of any entrepreneur, and that is that you've refined that pitch with family. You may have gotten a little bit of money, but now you're going to try and procure these dollars from probably traditional lending relationships, and we all know what that could entail.
Yeah.
But hopefully by that time, three things will have come to the fore. That regardless of your audience, you have conveyed very clearly that you were willing to lead with your ethics. Why? Because the first important part of that process was to get that certification.
Correct.
To give your entity validity. The second thing is that you have invested yourself wholly in this passion for your business, whatever that is, whatever that product or service is, and you're willing to look at that no as a not yet, because you will get one.
Yeah.
And
That is so true. You'll get that one.
You will get that one. You will get that one. So make a commitment, as I'm sure that all of our listeners have, that they're going to lead with their ethics and do the right thing the right way the first time for the right reasons. Get the certification. Be willing to have stamina. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
Yeah, correct.
Right? And just understand that while a traditional lending resource like a bank or what have you may not necessarily on the surface appear to be ideal, it is conventional for a reason, because it is a very mature process. It is a process that any institution that puts bank above their door will take you through, and it's called due diligence.
Right.
Who are you? What do you offer?
Jesse about to preach to us. Preach, Jesse.
I'm about to have a prayer cloth moment. But who are you? Who are you? And what is your commodity? Walk us through the tangible aspects of that. And once you've had a chance to do that, and you go through and you visit with these institutions, then coming through that process, now you gain the kind of credibility you need to go and procure those dollars elsewhere.
Okay. Well, we're
And
going to
it's
come
really-
back. We're going to come back in a few minutes. KYND 1520, Penn Global News. Rodney Woods.
You're listening to the powerful 1520. Houston, get ready for the Father's Day Concert and Festival featuring Pokey Bear.
They call me Pokey, Big Pokey Bear.
Pokey.
To be with my family.
Also featuring
I'm giving up the sweet
Rue Davis.
love, kinda sweet.
Plus J. Paul Jr. Cheater Jones. Miss Charlie. Chowball. Chopper Law. Kick it off at 12 noon with the Hoodat Steppers. It's a full day of fun activities for the entire family, food, bounce houses, and games for the kids. It's the Father's Day Concert and Festival, Saturday, June 17th at the Olmo Civic Center. Gates open at 12 noon. For tickets and more information, call Brenda 832-656-8661 or visit Eventbrite/Father's Day Festival. A Sugar Baby Records presentation, sponsored in part by KYND.
If you're retiring, changing jobs, laid off, or your company recently merged, call Roderick Dow, PC, 713-862-4332. Roderick can assist you with your 401k, 403b, pension, profit sharing, ESOP, and other employer-sponsored retirement plans. Roderick will sit down with you in person for a free, no-obligation consultation. 713-862-4332. He will discuss the options for your...
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right, another day, another chance.
Ready to live your best life? Get motivated with powerful programs that help you take control of mind and body.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND 1520 is a powerful 25,000-watt station that covers 175-mile radius of Houston and surrounding areas, and can be heard and seen anywhere in the world online through the mobile app powered by JStream. It's not just radio, it's interactive radio. KYND is the kind of talk that inspires change. Learn how to get healthy and stay healthy. Be inspired to live your best life. Control your finances. Join the growing number of sponsors that understand the value of connecting to listeners through KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
$15.20.
Welcome back to KYND Radio 1520, Penn Global News, Rodney Woods, Gwen Mitchell, and Jesse McRae. So we just left off talking about some important things here, Jesse. So you and Gwen were chatting at the break, and you want to kind of expound on the chat that you guys had just a minute ago?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, great segue.
Right.
As you always like to say, right to the point.
Right to the point.
All right.
Listeners need to hear exactly
Yes, they do.
what needs to happen.
Yeah, so right at the break, I was wrapping up my little talk about the fact that once you've gone through that process and you are going the traditional lending route to procure that necessary capital to really get you off the ground, you understand that in many cases, as has been my observation, that from a lending perspective, banks will have, traditional banks are going to have a core template or framework within which they're going to qualify the business and quantify the risk.
And risk, you and I had this strong conversation at 4:35 this morning.
It was engaging
About risk. And there's a risk associated with every business, every deal that walks into a bank or talk to an investor or talk to an alternative financing group. There's a risk associated with every deal. And that risk is, Jessica, we say, is there any other way to say it outside the risk is
that you're not going to repay the loan.
Oh, my God. That's the risk. That you may not repay the loan, or you may not return my money, or you may walk away and close this business down without paying my money back. And those are the things we were talking about. How do you say it any other way?
Not you really can't. And from an investor standpoint, a lender standpoint, a borrower standpoint, the core theme of thought is two parts. Return on principal and return of principal.
So now you know that for the listeners, Jesse, you have to break that down. Return on principal means what?
How much money can I earn on this capital that I'm putting at risk to invest in you?
Right.
It needs to be competitive. Now, we can get into all the minutia.
Right. Which we're going to have plenty of time to go through all of that to make sure we talk about risk capital, and all the things that we've been discussing for the last couple of years and pulling this together.
Sure.
So these are the core things, though, into a business that really needs to happen. But at the end of the day, if you got a business, you know the process of what we got to do to get to the next level. And we really wanted to start out today with minority businesses understanding exactly some of those needs. And also continue to go to www.playbookinvestorsnetwork.com. That's www.playbookinvestorsnetwork.com so that you can kind of start to see what it is we're trying to do to help businesses scale and grow. And also, hold your hand through the process, because when you really don't know something, you really just don't know. And we talk about it. I think you heard last week with Antonio and the guys, Damon and Doc.
Yes, I did.
We hadn't had Tracy on as of yet because we need to also let our listening audience know that T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, now getting ready to go into the Hall of Fame this year as well.
All right.
That's
Tracy.
awesome.
So we're happy for T-Mac going into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
But, Tracy's always like, man, we got to understand this stuff. How do we transition this not only to the business, but how do we transition all this into the athlete entertainers who have liquidity and trying to own businesses and trying to help, communities and families and everything else. And that's what we talked about a lot last week. So go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say, before we lose the point of the question you were asking about the chat in the break, is that these institutions, they have a core template that they use to qualify the business and quantify the risk, but understand that every institution will employ or apply various numbers of risk parameters when they go to assess the kind of loan you would qualify for and hopefully be approved for. And
always hopefully approved, right?
Absolutely.
we want to get more approved than declines.
Right. Exactly. But with that, what I've found to be a cornerstone in making that assessment, especially for those companies that really, really have a good business, and they've gone through the basic level of certifications, they realize, wow, I could probably get more in terms of when I'm looking to borrow, but more importantly, get more in terms of the business to scale and grow, possibly, if I had other certifications. And that's one of the things that we were talking about in the break is it's more than just one certification within the minority sphere.
Right.
But there are several. And Gwen, I know that you are, in my opinion, an authority in that space. So please, kind of talk about that, because that's very important, in my opinion, for our listeners as a tangible takeaway, is understand this is not just about one box being checked.
A couple of boxes.
A couple of boxes.
Right, because I was talking during the break with Jesse about you also need to come with your professional certifications. If you're a project manager, you need to have your PMP, your professional project management certification. If you're an engineer, you need to have all the engineer certifications.
Absolutely.
If you're in IT, oh my goodness, there's a wide range of certifications that you need to have.
That's required of you to be doing those type of tasks.
Yeah, so you got to come with those industry certifications as well as
Right.
then you add to that.
It's all additive or complementary. And of course, if you are a public accountant, we know that there are certain regulatory corridors that you must go to, enter and exit to get this wonderful piece of paper. And that's going to be pursuant to how you complete certain examinations and this, that, and the other. And that is something that is symptomatic of any industry.
Well, I'm gonna be that. I'm sorry, Gwen. I'm gonna be that devil's advocate. I'm gonna play the business today, right? I'm just minority business, and I'm like, Gwen and Jesse, I hear what you're saying, but why do I really need a CPA?
Wow.
Well, I would say because if you're not really good at accounting, and if you're not really good at keeping books,
that's a pretty good reason.
You normally have something that at the core that you're good at.
Right.
So you should stick to what you're good at,
Yep.
and then you should supplement with those people that can bring the talent that they're good at. So I'm not good at being the CPA or the accountant.
You're not the CPA? Okay.
No.
I'm just making sure.
But what I am good at is getting the resources where I am weak to supplement in those areas.
Which is very helpful because you have to get those resources to help you scale the business. Yep. But, even as a business today, and I'm saying, I go back from the core principles of I'm trying to get $2 million to grow my business. I've been in business for, 10 years, Gwen, 10 years, Jesse. Why do I need a business plan? And or what is that thing they called it? The PPM, Private Placement Memorandum. Why do I need those things, Jesse?
Yeah. Generally speaking, it's a necessary part of the course of getting to the next level of getting the capital in this context. What we want to make sure that I guess, again, as to echo the sentiments, many of the sentiments from the last show about process.
Right.
This is a process. The process to, whether it be to go out and try and capture a new opportunity that you've quantified and qualified.
Right.
Or to go out and access strategic partners that you have due diligenced. It's a process to go through that. And so, because there is a process, whether it be one that is documentation-oriented, has to do with the background, bio-oriented, biographical, has to do with the background.
Absolutely.
Vetting one's pedigree, vetting one's real reach in the marketplace. And then from a PPM perspective is helping that investing audience get a documented grasp on the risk that they have an opportunity to participate in. It's a process. If it were all as easy as just saying, hey, I've got a coil spring business that does $10 million top line, I'm running on 27% margins, but if I can build out another factory, I can ramp up my production 41%, and we think that that will be additive to the bottom line by a multiple of 4. That's a fabulous story, succinctly placed. In the
Sounds pretty good, too, Jess, actually.
Now, you both have mentioned something, PPM. Could you explain that a little bit more?
Sure. The Private Placement Memorandum, it is a necessary document that the industry, the financial services industry, requires whenever someone is going out to solicit the investing public for capital.
And sometimes, and Jesse, you and I, we go back and forth with a lot of different investor groups. Business plans are okay. It's just a request. Sometimes some investors really want to see a private placement memorandum.
Absolutely.
And it's all dependent on that investing community. That's really what it's contingent on.
So, Rodney, you mentioned business plan. What is the business plan?
Business plan is me explaining my business, helping you understand exactly what I do, how I do it, and how, if I'm really going to get money from you, Gwen, you will invest $10 million with me, won't you?
That's the suggestive sale.
Right,
There you
exactly.
go. There you go.
I'm trying to sell while I'm on the show.
Rodney is the closer.
And sales and marketing is a part of the business plan.
Sales and marketing part of it.
It's essential.
You got to be able to, you got to be able to sell it. You got to be able to market your business out to the mass.
Absolutely.
But, you know, if I'm trying to get money from, I got to explain to you in this plan, my growth initiative, my strategy. How am I going to get this $10 million back to you? How am I going to grow this business too? So I have to put all these things in the business plans, and then you got milestones you got to meet. Because if I get $10 million, you may give me a 3-year horizon or 5-year, horizon to return this money at a certain price point. If it's probably 12% of the market, 8% to 12% returns now in the marketplace, right?
Largely, especially in the private sphere. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
that's a floor level for it to even be
and
competitive.
we know it could be higher depending on the cost of capital.
And the risk
and the
associated.
the risk is associated with getting this capital.
Absolutely.
And your background. We could have bad credit, we could have foreclosures, we could have bankruptcies, but there's still an opportunity for you to get capital. You just have to do things the right way now, especially now today, because nobody wants to give anybody any money knowing that there's going to be a risk associated with it anyway, but knowing that I can minimize my risk, and I can actually get my return in the next 2 or 3 or 5 years, and you do exactly what you say you're going to do, that's where we have to be at.
The right thing for the right reasons the first time.
There you go. So, go ahead, Gwen. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask Jesse, Jesse, what would stop me from being able to get capital?
Well, let's open it up just a little bit. So let's have a scenario.
Okay.
What is your product or service? And there's a reason why I'm asking you this.
Because you need to know.
You need to know.
You need to know what your product or service is, Gwen.
There you go. So let's just say that it's any commodity.
Okay.
I think the easiest mitigant to identify is that you have left some housekeeping issues unattended. From a governance standpoint, your entity just doesn't have all of its corporate docs in order, that you're not recognized by the state as being an entity that is able to do business legally inside the borders of your state. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Be a legal entity.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, lead with your ethics.
Okay.
Secondly, is have a commitment as a stakeholder to maintain those records, because the thing is, there's this wonderful little I call it a target that everybody likes to see, called the corporate veil, and they're seeking to pierce it. And from a governance standpoint, that means that if you are not, once you've established this company and you are not going through the processes to really maintain the order in terms of how it's governed, then you leave yourself vulnerable to, once they go through the due diligence and they look at the background and qualify the business and quantify the risk, you may have the best commodity available, great margins. More importantly, there's fabulous demand, a real opportunity for market share, but oh, by the way, you're a little loose at the rails because maybe your minutes are not up to date. Maybe you don't have audited financials. You've got a bag full of receipts, but they're not organized in any cohesive manner where they can be reviewed and assessed and discerned as to whether or not you're following generally accepted accounting principles. And I know that's getting a little bit outside the scope of your question, but these are mitigants to your ability to access capital, because you're not leading and putting yourself out there to present yourself in the best way from a professional standpoint, that at a very basic level, in my opinion, it is fiscal irresponsibility.
Right.
And as a stakeholder, shame on you.
And another thing, though, Jesse, was really key, and we laugh about this quite a bit, that a lot of folks don't know how to even ask for capital. You don't even know how to ask. You have no idea how to really go ask for capital unless you're talking to, friends and family.
Right.
But you don't know how to ask for capital. And also there's a fear factor of asking for capital. Right? That's a big fear factor. Some people are like, I can't do it. I can't ask Gwen for $10 million. Gwen's going to look at me like, want $10 million for what?
And nobody wants to be rejected either.
Right.
But here's the thing. We always say that if you're thirsty,
Yeah, you're going to drink. That's a different scenario. Yeah, drinking thirsty and asking for $10 million is a big difference.
But here's the thing. In that vein.
Right, I got you.
We're going to turn the lemon into lemonade. Look at a no as a not yet. Because remember, this is an opportunity to open yourself up to the investing public that you are asking for dollars. I'm sorry. It's going to be hard to glean praise without someone pointing out the problems.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the biggest mitigant is just going to be making sure that we have addressed our housekeeping issues, as I just articulated. And then if you've done all those things, then now it just comes down to the perception of risk, which is, are you going to
return my money? And don't make me call you. Don't make me look for you. Don't make me text you. Don't make me sit down in your driveway and wait till you get home. All right. We're going to take a break now. We're at KYND Radio, 1520, PN Global News, Rodney Woods.
You're listening to the powerful 1520.
Hello, this is Fred Hoyer coming to you from Bayward.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND. It's about connection.
It's about community.
It's about empowerment.
It's about you.
The kind of talk that inspires change.
Connect now at KYNDradio.com.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right. Another day, another chance.
Ready to live your best life? Get motivated with powerful programs that help you take control of mind and body.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND 1520 is a powerful 25,000-watt station that covers 175-mile radius of Houston and surrounding areas, and can be heard and seen anywhere in the world online through the mobile.
To Austin, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Welcome back to KYND Radio 1520, PN Global News. In studio today, Jesse McRae and Gwen Mitchell.
And Rodney Woods.
Oh, yeah, Rodney Woods.
The incomparable
Whatever.
Rodney Woods.
Don't even try it. But again, we want to thank all the listeners for listening in, because we're trying to be a voice to the communities across, the U.S., especially Texas here, and understanding how you actually scale your business, how you grow your business, and why is it important to have a certification to let companies know, major corporations understand that you are truly a minority business, because that's really important to most corporations.
Absolutely.
Who have a particular spend count, and not to just call corporations out about their spend count, but most corporations have a 10% or 15% spend count that they're trying to reach. To say that we do have diverse suppliers, which is inclusive of our society today, where you reside, where you live, and all those things. But sometimes it's also a detriment to you if you are a minority business and you really don't get certified. There are businesses out here in the marketplace today that's not a certified minority business. They still got a good business. They're operating properly and doing well. So that is true. But sometimes it's also, if you get certified, it's just a little bit better for you to be in that other small line, to have an opportunity to work for Wells or Microsoft or Toyota or Volkswagen or, Apple, those type of companies that are looking for that certification. Because let's face it, I think today we have about 26 major corporations that spend over $1 billion a year with just minority vendors. And that's a pretty good amount, although it kind of perturbs me a little bit, because I'm like, okay, you're a $182 billion company.
And all you're spending
is $1 billion or $2 to $3 billion with minority included. Okay, we can do better than that now. We can find some true qualified businesses that we can bring to the table that can do work for you.
And that's a key point, Rodney, that I want to make sure it's not lost on our listeners, because I think it's very easy for us to get caught up in this noise.
Well, okay, now what type of noise are we talking about, Jesse?
This noise that's associated with the perception of minority businesses.
Right.
We have some real talent in the market.
Yes,
absolutely. Real talent. Real talent.
I concur with you 100%.
Identified, non-identified.
Absolutely.
We've got that right now. There's someone out there that is driving the efficiencies of their department for a major corporation. They're a person of color.
Yes.
Broadly speaking, just person of color. And they may not be recognized for that contribution.
Yeah.
And little do they recognize themselves, because maybe they're not aware, that going through this process of becoming minority certified, they get to take those talents and add the value and reap the value they so justly deserve in the marketplace, owning their own business. So there's noise out there about that. And the reason I bring up that point is this is about entrepreneurs that are adding value with a world-class product, a world-class process. They're trying to surround themselves with the necessary human, financial, and technological resources to demonstrate their worth. And the one thing that's presenting them is they're not getting a seat at the table. So when we talk about this $1 billion spend, in my view, that's a seat at the table.
That's a seat. Absolutely.
It's been budgeted.
Absolutely.
It's been budgeted. It's a small budget, but it's a budget.
It's a budget.
Because 60 years ago, there was no such budget. So let's be grateful, but let's remain aggressive and understand that let's make the most of this $1 billion spend.
Yeah.
So that that those that have the power of the pen are so compelled to maybe make that $2 billion.
And that's why we have to change the game, as we talked about. We're changing the game. We want to make sure that if you are at the table, you're qualified.
Absolutely.
You're strong. You're able to scale, and companies and corporations or tier one suppliers will ask you, hey, if we give you this $150 million contract here, can you deliver? Can you do what you said you can do?
Yep.
If you got this construction project and you building a new building downtown Houston, and this is a $50 million building or a $200 million building, and you get through half the process and like, oh my God, I really can't do this. That's a problem.
Either because of the human resources.
The human resources that you need, which you need capital to hire people.
Not the technological resources may be such that you really don't know how to really analyze your own business in a way where you can quickly discern your inefficiencies, or said differently, your operating opportunities.
Your operating, because I told Jesse, you got to break this down, Jesse. This is a listening audience, and some of us know this, and a lot of us don't know this. So I'm always getting on Jesse. Jesse, break it down for one, please.
Yes, Uncle Rodney.
Thank you, sir.
and that all centers around the financial resources.
Yes,
it takes money to make money. So to your point, these entities have to understand they got to do this the right way. And when you get that capital, invest in your business, please.
Yeah.
And here's another
sorry,
little
go ahead, Gwen.
mindset changing thing that we can do also is other MBEs have to help other MBEs.
Absolutely.
So you have to put processes in place
Process.
as you start your business to make sure that you have a process that considers a minority business when you're going to procure something if you expect the corporates to do the same.
Right, that's true. And we might even make a rap song. The process. How you say it again? Process.
Yeah.
Y'all know we do have a lot of fun up here because we're really passionate about what we're doing and trying to change the landscape. And we're truly blessed. We got to lead by example ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that's why we've taken 8.5 years to build Playbook Investors Network.com to try to help people who are really serious about their business get educated, understand the process. There you go. That sounds good.
Let's harmonize that
somebody
at the end of the show.
Okay, at the end of the show. Somebody might give us a contract for real for singing. But, you know, we're really trying to do it the right way and lead by example because, you know, we hear the horror stories. And we also been part of the horror stories ourselves.
Yep. Main characters.
Right, yeah, we've been the main characters.
Sequel, prequel, insert.
Right.
We've done it all.
We've been all that too. But also more importantly is like we also have had good mentorship.
Oh my God.
You know, we've had good mentorship, you know, from corporations, from people, you know, who taken us by the hand to show us, you know, exactly how this works. We give homage to Toyota as a corporation because of what they showed me over the last 13 years, you know, building 3 plants with them across, you know, the U.S. Like I said, in Mississippi, we built a plant with them. Coming back to San Antonio to build a Tundra plant and seeing how that worked. And now, you know, Toyota's whole headquarters. Sometimes I want to think that I had a little something to do with that because I'm like, wait a minute now. You guys are like in 3 different places. Y'all need to be in the same place, having the right process and understand exactly what's happening.
That's right.
You know, with Toyota. So you want to think that you had a little something to do with it, which I probably didn't, but I said it.
You made a contribution.
I made a contribution to telling Toyota to move to Dallas, Plano, Texas. Bring your headquarters here to Texas. You don't need to be in California. You don't need to be in New York. And you don't need to be in Lexington or Erlanger, Kentucky. Bring all your companies right here to Plano, Texas. Now I'm going to take some credit.
Lone Star State.
There you go. Welcome, Toyota, to the Lone Star State, right? And a lot of other corporations, you know, now are migrating to the South. You know, big corporations are coming to the South, which is a whole lot of jobs that can be created. But we got to get a lot of these businesses who can work these jobs, right? We got to get them straight if they want it. So make sure, and I want to make sure I say this, we can't do anything for you if you don't want to do it for yourself.
Very true. Invest in your business.
Yeah. If you don't want to do it for yourself, it's no way that we can do anything for you. We can tell you something all day long. We can come to the radio station and drive up from Dallas every Thursday and get with you on the radio and tell you all these things. And if you don't want to do it, it's no good. It's null and void. Null and void. Go ahead, Gwen. I'm sorry.
But, you know, Rodney, I really like the platform that
I'm
Players
glad you
Investors
do.
Network provides.
Since you're part, I'm glad you like it.
And I think one of the things that drew me to it was the education that's available. You know, 24/7 education. And I reiterate that because a lot of small business, they have to work during the day.
Yeah.
So they can only educate themselves at night.
I think when you said something really elegant last week, they work in the day. And what they do by night, Gwen?
And they work at night.
They work at night. Gwen
Always
delivered that last week to the audience like, hey, you working today and you work at night too. I like, Gwen, well, what happened to a little plan? I mean, you know, you got to have a little life if you're going to do something. Have a little life, you know. But we want to make sure you afford to have a good life because if you get this business right, you can have a good life.
Yeah.
You can take care of a lot of people. You can take care of your family. There's the things we've been talking about with Tracy and all of our other partners, Antonio and all those guys. I mean, you know, these guys have seen the big stuff. But we wanted to make sure now that they can transcend that into the other athlete entertainers, the other businesses, you know, because they got big voices, you know. I'm sorry, Jesse, you can say something. I always look at Jesse, and Jesse got something to say. I know he's going to say something.
No, nothing earth-shattering. Just say that, you know, as an entrepreneur, our listeners know this, especially those that are building their business, until you get to that critical phase in the process of building your business, there is no such thing as a work-life balance.
Right.
Because you're always working. I mean, you're always working. Yeah.
And honestly, if you're doing what you really enjoy, it's not working really.
No, I agree. I totally
Labor
agree.
of love.
That's
Labor
right.
of love.
Labor
you
of
know,
love.
I said one time, I think, Jay, we play around quite a bit. Jess and I always have, monologue, dialogue with each other constantly, every day. Sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's a show.
We're on the phone talking about stuff, or
it's a show.
We talking to T-Mac at 11 or 12 at night, because Tracy's up in L.A., different times, so he going to call you at, it's 2 o'clock our time, but 12 his time. He won't talk.
Yeah.
We try to sleep. But it's like you think about a lot of things that you can do. You think about a lot of things where you want to be.
Yep.
And I just think now that we've built something to help, companies, it's up to the companies or the people or the listeners to do the things they want to do to get to the next level. We can only provide these services and try to give them to you, and it's up to you to want those services and try to use them. And it's not about us. We've said this clearly. It's not about us. It's about everybody here. It's about everybody out there and how we can help everybody get to the next level. So it looks like we're getting ready to come to a break. And, Jesse, we hold that thought till after the break, and we're going to come back to you, my brother.
I'm going to do better than holding. I'm going to put a pin in it.
You're going to put a pin in it? How y'all like that? Put a pin in it. KYND Radio 1520, PN Global News, Rodney Woods, Jesse McRae, and Gwen Mitchell.
From spring to Sugarland, on the air everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Learn how to get healthy and stay healthy. Be inspired to live your best life. Control your finances. Join the growing number of sponsors that understand the value of connecting to listeners through KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change. Download from Android or Apple device at KYND Radio. KYND is not just talk radio, it's interactive radio. Powered by JStream, the future of broadcasting. Listeners now have multiple ways they connect to the conversation. Using a mobile device or computer, they are able to watch their favorite radio talk shows just like a TV program. They can call in during a broadcast, send instant messages as they listen live, or share a broadcast so all their friends can watch live on Facebook.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say, focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That revives memories. The powerful 1520.
Welcome back to KYND Radio 1520, PN Global News. Rodney Woods, Gwen Mitchell, Jesse, the McRae.
I don't know about the Mac.
The McRae.
That could have some negative connotations depending upon our audience.
I just wanted to say it, Jesse. Wow. I call T-Mac the Mac, right? We call Tracy the Mac sometimes. As a matter of fact, talking about business, we try to create some T-Mac products called the Mac.
Okay.
But I won't tell everybody about it right now.
Don't tell everybody right now. That'd be a shameless promotion. No problem. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong
Tracy
with
might be listening to me.
He might be listening.
I don't care, but anyway. Hey, but by the way, I will make an announcement for Tracy. Tracy just finished up the finals, and we're going to congratulate, the Golden State Warriors. And some people don't want to congratulate them, but...
Will not.
Yeah, okay. But we congratulate the Golden State Warriors for winning the championship. And Tracy's been doing his show with ESPN and also The Jump.
Yes.
So that everybody knows that T-Mac is on The Jump on ESPN. I think it comes on here in Texas, I think at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
And Tracy will be joining the show. You know, he's a partner to us in the show. He'll be joining the show, I think, in July, because after his last week of The Jump next week, he'll be taking vacation with his family, you know, kind of enjoying a little bit of time with the kids.
Yes, indeed.
You know, for all you who have kids, you need to enjoy that time because it goes by pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. A little work-life balance.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
What's that?
Yeah, what is that, right? But T-Mac will be joining us probably in July. I think the first or second week in July. And every week we'll start to announce before the week who all will be on the set. We have the astronaut coming in, Bernard Harris, our partner in Versailles, who's also here in Houston. Bernard will be joining us and talking about all the things we're doing in the global markets as well as the United States. And then we'll have corporations coming to the table. We'll have live audiences during the time the corporations come. We'll have high-profile investors, investors who will be on the platform who, you know, look like us, you know, that manages $2 billion, $3 billion, $4 billion. We'll have those type of individuals on the show. I think we just talked to one of our good friends and hopefully a partner soon, Rodney
Harrington.
Rodney Harrington.
Yeah.
Rodney Harrington out of Shannon Capital.
Chi-Town.
In Chicago, right. So Rodney will be joining us, and we'll have a lot of other guests. Every week we'll have different guests talking about different topics. So we want to make sure that we make this a truly educational show, that we can pass on so much education that, you know, you may or may not have, but to make sure that we get it out to you. I mean, that's what our calling is, to get this out to you, to understand that, if you have a business, you know, more the B2B side, not just so much the B2C on the consumer side, but business to business, and you're trying to scale your business, trying to grow your business, trying to get to the next level, we want to have those things that we can present to you that you can now continue to understand, get more educated, and begin to scale your business, but also, more importantly, also be able to get capital.
Right.
That's the objective.
You got to get capital, because with that capital, you have to do two things that I think we just don't understand. Capital is going to buy you people, or capital is going to get you equipment. And if you get the equipment again, you still got to buy somebody to run and operate that equipment. That's what capital is for.
Comes right down to resources.
Come down to your resources.
However you want to define it, human, financial, and technological, you got to have them.
Now, you know, I got to look that up, Jesse, because Jesse just ran that past me real quick. Can you repeat that one, Jesse?
Human. You know, me and you.
No, there you go.
Technological equipment.
There you go.
But it's all going to be bound by the financial. You got to be able to buy it.
Yeah, you have to be
cash or credit. You got to be able to buy it.
And you have to. I mean, in order to operate your business, you got to have the right equipment, right?
Yeah, no question.
You know,
no
and
question.
we need the right people to help us scale the business. You know, whether it's your marketing department, your advertising, your PR, your social media. Oh my God, we got a lot of mom and pops. We don't understand how to even do social media.
Right.
And then our platform is going to be maybe a way of introducing them to that, because we've got a number of outlets to access the portal by way of social media. And speaking of the portal, you know, just as a bit of a segue, and again, to make sure that there's nothing that's lost on our audience, when we talk about, you know, the Playbook Investors Network portal and the platform and the interface that they have, understand that there are 4 things that we aim to do through this medium here at Penn Global News, is to make sure that, one, that we are identifying you. Now, we identify you right now as a listener. Now, I'd love to see the numbers, but I got a feeling that we got some folks tuning in. Earlobes are hot.
I hope so. We really hope so. This is not about us.
It's
again,
not about
this
us
is about
at
you.
all. It's about you.
It's about
Please
you,
believe.
listeners. Absolutely.
Please believe. But one of the 4 tenets of our platform, again, is to identify you. If we don't know who you are,
they don't know who you are.
They don't know who you are.
Right. I got you.
I mean, please believe that this portal has real reach, and we're blessed in terms of just all the circumstances that fell in place for us to be able to do this. But it is about you. So help us find out who you are. Come to the portal. The second thing that we
can you give them the portal information?
Address?
There you go,
That
Jesse.
would be
There we
good.
They got me last week really good. Can you please give the address again, please?
www.Playbook Investors, as Rodney likes to say with an S, network.com.
There you go. See, I can't do it elegant like that.
I know. He has it down, doesn't he?
Playbook Investors with an S network.com. Did I do good?
Well, you know what? I was always told I was always told I had a face for radio.
Yeah.
And I guess you're confirming that.
I'm confirming. You got it for sure.
But again, the four things that we're going to make sure that we do every week. If there's nothing else that we reiterate and convey, we're here to identify you. We provide our platform to educate you. Now, there is a process for you to be evaluated.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you come through that portal and you're committed to scaling and growing and really positioning yourself in the best light to a broader investing public, then we're going to introduce you. Yeah. And we have a unique way of doing that because we've got a outlet that we believe is second to none. Mm-hmm. And until such time that it's duplicated, our minds won't be changed. But again, it's not about us. And the reason, and I'll end with this, the reason that there is so much passion about that is because, again, we've all heard the horror stories. We've all been a part of those stories as main characters and supporting cast. Okay?
Yes, sir.
But we've been a part of it.
We starred in the no.
Oh, my God.
We starred in the no. I can't do it.
Let me tell you something.
No, thank you.
Let me tell you something. I got a bookshelf full of Oscars that I've won for being best actor in my own horror show. But all humor aside,
right.
and this is the most important thing, is let's refuse to be apathetic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And because it's one thing to know that you have an opportunity. It's another thing to know that if nothing else, your own gut tells you that there's some things that you need to address from a housekeeping issue, whether it be governance, accounting, business plan, or what have you. It's a whole nother thing to know that to view our platform as a complementary part of whatever process you have outlined for yourself to procure this capital. But if you refuse to take action, you are being apathetic.
Yeah.
And as Rodney, as you said, so plainly a moment ago before the break, we can't do that. We can't do that for you.
No.
But what we do commit ourselves to do with this show, with our portal, with the resources that have been invested in and committed to making available to you is we're going to do our part. If you let us know who you are and you're willing to go through an evaluation,
yeah.
and that you will use the resources, whether it be the subject matter experts, because they're there 24/7. So whether you're working, they're still there. So
yeah. They're for you.
They're there for you.
They're
there for you.
Absolutely.
Then now we truly can walk together as it relates to how you are being reintroduced to the broader investment marketplace. So identify you. Let us know who you are. Get on the portal. Take that self-assessment.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
To find out really exactly where you are.
Where you are.
Yeah. You got to do your own self-assessment because you know you better than we know you. Mm-hmm. We're just going to provide you the tool.
Just to provide you the tool.
Yeah.
And we got a nice toolbox. And it's not a Stanley. It's not a DeWalt. Okay, it's none of that. You won't find this at Home Depot. You won't find it at Lowe's. Okay. But I can promise you. I can promise you that every latch that flips, a door will open.
A door will open. Okay.
So we can promise you that.
And so Jesse, I think I heard you say that we're not for everybody, but we're for those that want to grow their business and take it to the next level.
Absolutely.
And are committed to doing that. We're here for you.
We're here for you.
And so, we're talking about, businesses and education is key to everything, of course, and understand how you get to the next level in capital. While we're on the subject of education today, we are going to have a guest here from Lone Star College.
Absolutely.
Well, I think one of the largest colleges in the state of Texas.
In the state.
And they're coming in, to talk about, the education process and what they offer, even for students and everybody else trying to get through school. If you're trying to go to college, I think it's a 2-year school. Mm-hmm. And we'll have them on at the break. When we come back, we'll have them on at the break. But college is important.
Yeah, no question.
You getting your education, to continue to to understand how to do certain things, because sometimes you just don't have the education or the skill set.
Right.
And you really got to go through a whole lot of processes
That's right.
to get to that next level. Because now, if you just took the time to go to school and learn some of it, and you're not going to learn everything as an entrepreneur in school, true, but you're going to get the basic principles.
There's some requisite skills you must have.
Absolutely.
I mean, even though you're going to go out and hire a CPA, from an accounting standpoint, still understand the basics such as a debit and a credit. How to do a bank reconciliation statement.
Oh, and you need to know your numbers.
Got to know your numbers.
You got to know your numbers.
Got to know your numbers.
I wish y'all had told me that about 15 years ago. I need to know my numbers.
I might not be a CPA, but I know my numbers.
Absolutely.
I know my target, my metrics, and I know how to look to see where we are.
Yeah.
In the month, and what I need to do, whether I need to kick up, and do some more sales or.
Oh yeah, cost of goods is an important thing.
That's right.
Cost of goods sold, because hopefully, going through that process, you become more comfortable at looking at your own financial information. This is your business. So it's going to be great that we're going to have, the school come on and talk a little bit about their platform, and also, I guess, an upcoming event that they have. So
yeah, it's an upcoming event that they have is here in Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know they'll expound on all of that, with what they have coming up. So
and probably even tell us how to do business with them.
Yeah, we it's the one thing we're leading by. As we continue to say, this is not about us
at all.
Right.
So we got partners. Lone Star College could be a partner, as well as any other business could be your partner, as well as a company in the next state could be your partner. Because you do have to partner with different people sometimes to grow that business.
And it's called capacity.
Yeah.
Right, Jesse?
Absolutely. Capacity, utilization.
Yeah.
If you're studying economics.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I think I had a real tough time in economics. I think I was pretty good in school, but I had a tough time in economics, man, I tell you. Teacher always want to call on my name. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Please don't call me no more.
And speaking of capacity, I know at the break, Gwen, you and I were talking about this wonderful thing called the 5 C's, and that's one of them.
5 C's.
That's one of them. It's actually
and
5
for
C's of
those
credit.
who don't know the 5 C's, Jess, you better go ahead and tell them what that is.
Well, it's the 5 C's of credit. Okay, and the first one was kind of what I was alluding to earlier. We were talking about leading with your ethics. The first one is character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, if we're talking about risk, which is what these banks are, traditional banks or any investor for that matter that's looking at giving you capital, they're viewing you as risk. And one of the first attributes they're looking to assess is one's character. Okay, the next thing is just going to be capacity. We just talked about that. Okay, Joe, Mary, Dean, Phil, I think you're great. I love you. But based on the projections I've seen, I'm not so sure that you've got the capacity. Perhaps your projections are a bit ambitious.
Yeah, too ambitious.
Too ambitious. We've heard that before.
We've been on that other side.
We've been on the other side. So character, capacity, but then what we've been talking about, which is the end goal of going through our process, is capital.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's interesting that capital would sort of be listed higher, third instead of last, but capital, not just financial capital, but as you were mentioning earlier, human capital.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have it.
And human capital, for the listeners, is hiring somebody. It's hiring another person, another body.
Yep.
That's what we call human capital.
Yep.
And I wouldn't consider that to be the end. I would say the contract, and then performing on the contract would be the end.
No question. That's the lifeblood of any enterprise is that contract. The next one's going to be collateral, which again kind of gets back to equipment because if there's going to be an assessment of risk, and we talked about not just your ability to repay the loan, which is a return on the capital, but to repay it timely, preferably before the term ends. That's the return of, but in case you don't, in either case, as a default remedy, in other words, if you don't pay me back, I'm going to take recourse, then I'm going to now take your collateral. So that's that fourth C.
I don't want you to don't take my truck, man. Please don't take my truck, please, man. That's all I got left. Well, you need to pay me my money back.
Pay my money back. So character, capacity, capital, collateral, and then I think this is where it all comes to culmination in the end is just the right set of conditions.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're not always going to be perfect, and right. I think that one's ability to be clear in their assessment, discern their strengths, circle and improve their weaknesses, and remain tenacious in their approach to scale and grow.
Yeah.
they can transcend those conditions that are less than ideal. I just believe. That's just me.
No, that's
I
good.
believe it too.
So we're going to come back from the break. We're going to come back with Lone Star College after the break. KYND Radio 1520, PN Global News. And we will welcome Lone Star College on the break.
All right.
You're listening to the powerful 1520.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right. Another day, another chance.
Ready to live your best life? Get motivated with powerful programs that help you take control of mind and body.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND 1520 is a powerful 25,000-watt station that covers 175-mile radius of Houston and surrounding areas, and can be heard and seen anywhere in the world online through the mobile app powered by JStream. It's not just radio, it's interactive radio. KYND is the kind of talk that inspires change. Learn how to get healthy and stay healthy. Be inspired to live your best life. Control your finances. Join the growing number of sponsors that understand the value of connecting to listeners through KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change. Download from Android.
The powerful 1520.
Welcome back to KYND Radio 1520, PN Global News. We're so honored and happy to have Lone Star College in the house. We should say, Mr. Johnson and Dr. Dabney.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, and thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you for being here. We've been talking about education and what's really key to education and talking about Lone Star College. So you guys want to pretty much expound, because I know you're a wonderful college, a big college. Y'all the biggest in Texas, right?
Yes. In fact, Lone Star College is the largest community college in Texas. We have about 95,000 students enrolled, and we're number 2 in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know that.
Yeah.
I should have known that. And everybody else should know that, right?
Right. We also partner with 11 school districts here in the service area. One of the largest is Aldine ISD, which is right here in the community.
Okay.
We have more than 180 programs of study that range from our certified nursing assistant program to our associate's degree, which is a transfer program, which will allow students to leave Lone Star College and transfer to a 4-year university, including U of H downtown, Sam Houston State University, or even Prairie View A&M University.
So, Dr. Dabney, I think you're trying to keep everybody right here in Texas and Houston, right?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Start close,
I know there's something going on right here. Dr. Dabney's like, oh, you could just go to the University of Houston and right down the street.
Right.
So we were talking earlier about some of those professional certifications that you need. So.
Right. We also offer workforce certification programs in welding, for example, machining, HVAC, which is our heating and AC units. We train our students for those types of careers, and they can earn those certificates in a few months and have the earning potential of at least $60,000 a year.
See, that's what we're talking about right there. That's some growth strategies right there, because we need so many skill set workers. And everybody, every listener out there should be listening to this right now, understanding what Lone Star College can provide for you. To understand that they need this. We need this, right? We need those skill set students.
Right, right. And one of the things that's unique about Lone Star is we have our satellite locations. Right here in our community, we have our Lone Star College Greenspoint Center, and not too far away is our Lone Star College Victory Center. And so students in those communities can actually start their education there locally and then transfer to a career or transfer to a four-year university.
Wow, this is awesome. I mean, this is very, very knowledgeable for people to understand, how to get there, what they should do. So you want to expound a little bit, Mr. Johnson, on what they need to do to try to get in college?
Oh, that's actually a very simple process. So
now, here you go. It's a simple process.
It is a very simple process. You just go to lonestar.edu.
Okay.
And you click apply for admission. So we're an open enrollment institution. So you don't have to wait on any admissions application or anything. You are immediately enrolled, admitted.
So, is any student coming out of high school, or is it GEDs, or are you taking everybody in to the college?
Well, actually, we have a whole host of different programs to meet you where you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to finish high school, we definitely have a very robust GED program. As a matter of fact, North Harris just graduated 135 GED graduates last month. If you don't want to do the hustle and bustle and do the 4-year thing, as Dr. Dabney stated, the certificate is definitely the way to go. You can get a certificate in less than a year. Or if you want to go ahead and do that 2-year degree to maximize that earning potential, you can definitely do that as well. And we definitely take care of our transfer students, as I am a Lone Star College alumni myself.
Okay,
so,
okay.
I know that this formula works, and we're here to serve those students.
So we got lead by example.
That's right.
We got Mr. Johnson in the house. He's leading by example. So we need to get students in college.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like all you have to have is a desire.
That's all you need. Desire. We have financial aid specialists on site. If you need help with paying for those classes as well, we know that can be a big barrier for some students. We've got people on campus to help you with that.
So, so that's always the problem. That a lot of kids want to go to school and really, and they don't have maybe the family to teach them what to do. So how can you guys assist them with trying to understand how can they really get this financial aid right and get in college?
Right. I have that experience myself. I was first generation college student in community colleges where I got my start. It's the best place where you can go and it's a small setting. You have smaller class sizes, an average of 25 students in the classroom, so you get that one-on-one instruction and support, even through our student services. So if you have questions about financial aid, you can go in very quickly and work with a financial aid counselor. Mm-hmm. They can actually walk you through the process of completing that FAFSA online application and give you the support that you need to make that transition into the college.
Yeah, I remember my daughter was going to college, and FAFSA, I was like, what is that?
Right.
A lot of people don't even know what FAFSA is. So you might want to tell people really what FAFSA is.
Right. It's our federal financial aid application, and it's processed through the federal government. But it's very intimidating, but it's a process it's very similar. If you can complete your income taxes and work with a group to get that done, then your next step should be is to fill out that FAFSA, because it's pulling the information from that income tax document and placing it in the FAFSA to determine what you're eligible for.
So is Lone Star actually helping, students try to get through this process? That's what you guys are doing as well?
Right. We have our open house coming up pretty soon in August, the first week of August, at our Lone Star College Victory Center, and at the end of July at our Greenspoint Center. And during that open house, we'll be offering assistance to anyone that needs help with filling out their financial aid application.
Okay. And you guys got an event coming up too, right?
Yes, we most certainly do. We have quite a few events coming up.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for chiming in.
I got to go ahead and take Dr. Johnson now. I just deemed it was Doc now. Okay.
Give me a few years.
Okay.
A few years. We will actually be out at Sylvester Mayor Turner's Juneteenth parade on Saturday from 10 to 12.
Right.
We will have a stage set up for recruiting at the Greater Zion Missionary Baptist Church at 1620 Dolly Wright. We're bringing out barbecue. Free barbecue.
I'm coming. Okay, you got me. I'm coming. Yes. I'm coming with some kids, too. I'm coming.
So we're bringing out barbecue to help you out. We'll have staff on site to help you get through that process to get you started with any information that you may need. Also, if you can't make it to that event on Saturday, June 24th, for those of you that work throughout the week, we have Super Saturday at our Lone Star College North Harris campus, which is at 2700 WW Thorne. From 9 to 2, you can come out and get that assistance as well. We like to try to catch students. We don't want it to seem like a far process to get to college. So even if you can't make it throughout the week, come see us on Super Saturday.
That's outstanding. So, Dr. Dabney, you want to really talk about any more Lone Star? Because I know Lone Star is an awesome college. We've heard a lot about it. You know, I didn't know it was as big as it was. You guys had so many students. Like, I had no idea myself.
Right. We have several different college campuses throughout the Houston Northwest area. One of the things that we're very proud of is that our students have an opportunity to participate in study abroad programs. Then we have student life, including our Brother for Brother program, which is designed to support male students who may need that extra push or support from a mentor, which could include someone from our faculty or from our staff. We have our SAGE, which is our Sisters Aspiring for Greatness. We have several different student organizations to provide that support to the students as well. So we truly believe that Lone Star College is a place where you start close and go far. A year ago, we took a group of our students from Lone Star College Victory Center to China. And
I was just getting ready to ask you about that. I was just getting ready to ask you about that. Because I said, when you said abroad, I was like, okay, does that mean that I can kind of convert back and go back to the Lone Star College and go to China with you guys and learn some trades?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'm in. Come in.
Yeah. Whether you're a first-year student or a non-traditional student.
I think we'll be a fourth-year student.
Yeah.
And for our business listeners, you guys also have a way to do business with Lone Star. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Right. Through our system office, we have our Office of Procurement with Mr. Williams is the contact there who works closely with diversity suppliers. And so they work with you to try and help you through the application process so that as a small business owner, you can actually apply and become a approved vendor with Lone Star College. So you're able to do business.
That's really important to know for the business community, the listening community. That's really, we've been trying to educate on business and stuff, but it's also important for the students to understand, the process of getting there. It's always about trying to make everybody understand, how do I really, get in college?
Right.
How do I understand what I really want to do? Because a lot of times, I guess, even when we went to school, we didn't know what we wanted to do as far as our studies go. So I'm imagining you guys help with that process too, because a lot of people just don't know.
Right.
Just don't know what I'm going to college. I shouldn't say this, to have fun.
Well, we have fun too.
Right.
But we try to stay focused on the education piece. But we definitely do have fun. We have student life organizations on campus to make sure that they experience the college campus as they would if they were at a 4-year university. So we're preparing them for that transition. But the college is a place where we have open door enrollment. And so if you're ready, we're ready. We're there to serve you and help you make that transition.
It's really awesome, though, even studying abroad. Because we went to China, I've been to China with Tracy McRae. And, I know that there are students always going to China to study abroad. So, for Lone Star to be able to provide that type of opportunity, I don't think no kid should pass on that. And we encourage any student, any child, you should see other places. You should go to places. You should go to a college like Lone Star and understand that you have an opportunity to go study abroad. Right. You should do those things.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I had an opportunity to travel with them, and so it was sightseeing, but they were in an emerged language program there at Beijing. In Beijing, so they learned the language and studied it for a 2-week period.
Now I'm really jealous.
Yeah,
I go to China and I still don't speak the language. I get a few syllables here and there, but we want to definitely thank you, and it's an honor. You guys are doing an outstanding job at Lone Star, and I think that every child should at least have the opportunity to go to college and should call Lone Star, because you're trying to really give them an opportunity to get there.
Yes,
and that's the most important thing. So thank you, Mr. Johnson, Dr. Dabney. We want to also thank you, audience, for listening to Lone Star College, and we'll be right back with KYND Radio 1520 PN Global News. Thank you.
1520.
KYND is not just talk radio, it's interactive radio. Powered by JStream, the future of broadcasting. Listeners now have multiple ways they connect to the conversation, Using a mobile device or computer, they are able to watch their favorite radio talk shows just like a TV program. They can call in during a broadcast, send instant messages as they listen live, or share a broadcast so all their friends can watch live on Facebook.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND. It's about connection.
It's about community.
It's about empowerment.
It's about you.
The kind of talk that inspires change.
Connect now at KYNDradio.com.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520.
To Austin. On the air, everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Welcome back to KYND Radio 1520 Penn Global News. Jesse McRae.
Yes, sir.
Gwen Mitchell, Rodney Woods. We want to thank Lone Star College. I mean, that was really, really, educational for us, too, because we didn't really know how large Lone Star College, was. I did not know. And we live in Texas, but I didn't know how big they really were. So I hope and encourage any kid or any person or any business that's, want to go back to school.
Yeah, Keith Williams is great over there, running their supplier diversity program. I was over there meeting with him last week.
I think we need to talk to Keith about supplier diversity, too, because let Keith know we will come and visit him because there's a lot of opportunities. We can bring them a lot of suppliers. Being that that's a large school, absolutely, Keith. We need to come see Keith now. So, Gwen, you make sure that's your task.
And Keith is very good about bringing you in and walking you through the process.
No. We want a sole source deal with Keith. Just kidding.
That's fine.
Hey, we come to see Keith. We're all about trying to bring businesses to the table and get them other opportunities. So any relationships that we can forge or we want to drive companies, and that's outside the capital play. That's on the procurement side. And as we continue to do this show for, the next year and the next year, we're going to always talk about once you get capital and once you get your business straight and you go through Penn, you go through the assessment, get all the things out of the way, whether you need a business plan or a succession plan or key man insurance or audited financials or even a website or web app that fits on the phone because most companies or most corporations, when they look at your business, they look at McRae Enterprise, they look at Third Eye Process, they're going to look at that on their phone. And that website is not going to fit that phone if you don't have a web app. And that's really important. So, and this little tedious stuff.
But it's still presentation.
It's still presentation. Absolutely. Yes. You got to make it look good.
That's right. And you got to have a back end that actually supports it too.
Right.
Yeah.
So
sustainability.
When we get through all those type of things and then we get you to capital and you get to the next level, now, of course, that capital has got to be deployed into people or your equipment. And get all the things that you need to get done to make sure you're efficient and you're able to scale. But also, once that capital hits, and we talked about a business plan, we talked about a PPM, we talked about the growth initiative inside that business plan or that PPM, then that means it's time for you to scale. So you got to go see other people to get other procurement contracts, as we say, procurement or other contracts in general, because you got to continue to scale and grow the business.
the right people and the right equipment.
Right people, right equipment, and continue to reinvest, because what it's about is the preservation of resources.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any business that on the back of the balance sheet, there's this wonderful little entry. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
The little entry. It's a wonderful little entry.
It's
on the balance sheet.
It's called on the balance sheet. It's called retained earnings.
Yeah.
And what that is money that or resources that's left in the tilly.
Okay. Come on, Jesse.
To support that business.
We call Jesse Dr. McRae. Come on, Doc.
Well, I don't know if you call me doctor.
Oh, we're going to call you pastor.
But I feel a prayer cloth moment.
A prayer cloth moment.
Okay. But all humor aside, you know, the reason that is important is because, again, this is about not just investing in the resources that will support the business.
Right.
But as the business scales and grows, as a stakeholder, you have a fiduciary responsibility to provide or maintain, or you should have the responsibility of retaining a certain level of liquidity in the business. Mm-hmm. Because we all know that whether it be cash or equivalents, rainy days do happen.
Absolutely. More than what you know.
That's right. Called 2008.
2008. Oh, no, that right there was a flood.
Right.
Okay. That no. That wasn't Noah. Noah sailed. Okay, around this world. Oh, man.
In other words, translating that, the economy crashed.
Oh, it crashed. It was calamitous. But again, all humor aside, you know, the reason that it's a favorite of mine is because what it says is that as a stakeholder, as a proprietor, I not only had the conviction to go out and pitch the business, get the dollars, reinvest those dollars initially for the people in plant and equipment to support the business.
Yeah.
But I'm going to continue to show my commitment to the business for the benefit of myself and other stakeholders and risk holders, in case I still have some debts out there.
Yeah.
Folks that are lending me money because they believe in me and believe in the business and our product and our process. It's a wonderful way. If nothing else, it's what we call the fiscal symbolism.
Yeah.
That says that I believe in this business because I understand the reach that this business can have. Two things. One, you mentioned, which is essential, equipment to support the business, but it's the job creation.
Mm-hmm.
As my grandfather used to say, you know, bless his soul, Moses Alexander McRae. He used to say, Professor, and that's another story.
That's your day. I know. I think I heard that story.
That's another story by itself. But he used to say, Professor, if people aren't earning, then they're not buying.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if people are not buying, that means that someone's not selling. And if someone's not selling, that means they're not hiring. And if they're not hiring, that means that there's no one that's coming into that business to earn and buy. Mm-hmm. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
So in the spirit of each one teaching one, or said differently, being responsible first at home, take care of our own backyard.
Take care of your own backyard.
If we're going to go out and procure the dollars to grow the business and truly position it to continue to scale and grow, assuming the right conditions, that we can continue to put forth our best light to reflect our character, that we're going to make sure that we can support this business to continue to show that we've got the ability to add capacity.
Got to add capacity.
That we're going to bring on the equipment that represents the collateral, both branding and building. Mm-hmm. That now it becomes easier to go out and get more capital, at least in theory.
Yeah.
Well, then in a way, we're creating our own ripe conditions because we're positioning ourselves, if nothing else, when that rainy day does come, in this context through retained earnings.
We hope we can give you an umbrella.
Yeah, we hope we can give you an umbrella.
Okay.
That there's retained earnings or sufficient liquidity left in the business when macro or micro economic conditions become disadvantageous or adverse.
That's true.
When that cloudy day comes, we've got an umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is about, you know, the business growing, hiring, people buying. Somebody's selling, they're growing, hiring, somebody else is buying.
Yeah.
They're selling,
absolutely.
they're growing,
that's
hiring
true.
somebody. So it's
the continuous improvement along the way.
Along the way.
Yeah.
Along the way. And then it's no longer about being qualitative. It's no longer about being quantitative. Mm-hmm. It's about being genuinely interested in doing your part and doing something at an economic and financial level. And I know this gets into a broader context.
No, it does. But you're right.
But it has reach.
You're spot on.
Multi-generational reach.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but it all starts here. It starts today.
Yeah. We have to.
It starts today.
We have to lay that groundwork. And we too know that you know, we're not the only people speaking this way or talking this way. It's a lot of people here who speak this way and talk this way. And, you know, maybe it's some one-off companies or maybe it's just a company doing X.
Sure.
Which happens. But there's a lot of companies out here, you know, and we encourage you to work with any company.
Yep.
That's going to try to help you get to the next level.
That's right.
You know, you just got to be willing to do the right things by that company. You know, or you got to be willing to pay that company.
Yep.
You know, to help you get to the next level. So a lot, and that's always an issue, you know, because a lot of times, a lot of businesses just feel like, you know, I don't want to pay for that. But you need that to get to the next level. So, you know, I guess you got to really be serious about your business too.
Yep.
You know, more important, you just really got to be serious. If that's your business and this is your lifeline and this is where you feed your family, you know, you got to be serious about it.
But again, you know, understanding that when you hire, you are affecting someone else's ability to meet their dreams.
Yeah.
You know, because the people that I think the employees, whether it be a lender or an employee, when there's an investment made into you as an enterprise and your process to grow, they're latching onto your aspirations.
Right. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back to KYND Radio 1520, Penn Global News. Rodney Woods.
Liking the conversation? Tell a friend to tune in to KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
KYND is not just talk radio, it's interactive radio. Powered by JStream, the future of broadcasting. Listeners now have multiple ways they connect to the conversation. Using a mobile device or computer, they are able to watch their favorite radio talk shows just like a TV program. They can call in during a broadcast, send instant messages as they listen live, or share a broadcast so all their friends can watch live on Facebook.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND. It's about connection.
It's about community.
It's about empowerment.
It's about you.
The kind of talk that inspires change.
Connect now at KYNDradio.com.
Love this station.
The powerful 1520.
Welcome back to KYND Radio 1520, Penn Global News. For everyone out there in the audience today, go out and visit www.Playbook with an S, network.com. That's www.PlaybookInvestorsNetwork.com.
You know, I started to give you that echo. I'm sorry, Gwen. I started to give you that echo.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen the scene in the movie where you're in the cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started to give you that. We're not
No,
going to give you that.
not today.
We're not going to give it that one today. Okay.
Don't give it today, Jay.
No, but when you go through the website, there's going to be an echo.
It's gonna be. But please visit the website. You know, this is our second week on air, and we're really happy and totally blessed and totally honored to be here with KYND Radio. You know, being a voice to communities across the U.S. as well as all of Texas.
Oh, man.
To help, companies really understand how to really grow your business. How do you get to the next level? How do you go get access to capital? How do you get the resources, the right resources to help you scale and grow? And we've all got a lot of no's. We all have been a part of the no's, and we've got some yeses, because that's why we're sitting here today. We got a yes.
That's right.
And the yes was, hey, we want you guys on the air to be able to really expound and talk about the things that help companies, really scale, really grow, and understand what that really means too. Because there's also a time where you got a great business, but you also need to be humble.
That's right. You need to be prepared when you get that yes.
Yeah.
It's all about positioning. There's nothing worse than being at the seat of the table. And we've been there.
We have.
We've been there.
We have many times. Many times before.
Where opportunity is not just staring you in the face. It's touching.
And we're still going there.
We're
right?
still going there.
We're still going there.
It's right there, and you're not quite ready to seize it. And that's what we hope that we can do our part, so that you won't suffer that circumstance. We'd rather help you sharpen the tools to make sure that you can capture the opportunity versus getting right up to the precipice of it and you still can't execute.
Right. We as we continue these shows on every Thursday from 10 a.m. to noon, every
Central
Thursday, Central Standard Time, we will start to have listeners to call into the show to ask us Q&A questions. We'll be on the hot seat. That's no problem. We'll be on the hot seat.
No problem.
We will bring in major corporations, that will be on the hot seat. We'll give you the outlay and the outline of how they look to work with you. We'll have companies talking about, hey, we're looking at suppliers in this space. And what does it take to work for Microsoft, or what does it take to work for Apple, or what does it take to work for Toyota? And more importantly, what does it take for you to work with their tier 1 suppliers, which is a lot more tier 1 suppliers than it is a major corporation.
That's right.
It's a corporation that's CenterPoint Energy, but they got possibly how many vendors going? About 3,000-4,000 or more?
At least.
Yeah. So, you're talking about opportunities that you're missing because you're just trying to go straight to CenterPoint Operating Company and get that contract when you can go work with Third Eye Process, who also works for that company, or go work for this company that works for that company.
And I actually do work with some of their tier 2.
See, I thought that was the case.
Yeah. But above everything else, you can't shortcut the process.
No.
Right.
And we don't want you to.
We don't want you to.
But we do want you to know that there are numerous of opportunities for you to work with so many different companies, even if it's a tier 2, tier 3, or, you can work with that company, and still scale and still grow your business.
And again, I will reiterate, you can work with other MBE businesses.
Yeah, we always advocate to that. We advocate you to work with, other MBEs or MBE to a WBE or government or LGBTQ. A business is a business.
That's right.
And there's designations set out there for various reasons. And we're trying to even the playing field for minority business to understand that if you want to be in this game as a minority business and you want to gain access to capital, we're just trying to give you the right tools. Trying to give you the right tools or sharpen the tools to get you to that next level. We always try to have the very simplistic approach to getting to the next level because sometimes it's very complicated. And it's very disheartening when you walk into a bank, whether it be Wells, B of A, or an investor, and they tell you, hey, no, you need to do this to your business. You're like, man, my business is good. I'm doing X, but I just need your help. I just need you to give me $1 million to get to that $100 million, right?
That's right.
But you're going to get a no. And that's a tough takeaway. When your parents told you, no, you can't go outside and play basketball today, man, you are devastated, right? You can't go to football practice today, Jesse, or go to track.
Crushed.
Gwen, you can't go to your recital, your dance recital. You know how you felt then?
Yeah.
You feel the same way, and I think we go back to the fear factors of a business and still a human person. You're afraid of the no. But a closed mouth will never get fed if you don't ask for it. And I think when you ask for it, now you got to know what you're asking for.
Yeah, don't be afraid of the ask. One of the local artists, I guess, here in and around the Houston area, Mike Jones. And he has a wonderful...
Uh-oh, Jesse's going to rap, y'all.
I'm not going to rap.
Yeah, hey, don't be trying to take Mike Jones' place right now, Jesse.
I will not rap. But amidst listening to a lot of music, there's a message in that music.
Yeah.
And one of the central bridges to one of his lyrics was, if you don't work, you don't eat. You don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
See, J Mac been listening to some rap music. See, I can't even get all the words in. I like the tone and the beat, but I can't get the words right.
But I've never met the young man.
You know what? That's T Mac too, because Tracy know every song, and I'd be like, Mac, how do you know every song? Man, don't you know if you learn every song like this dude, you know how many plants you can own? Learn every manufacturing plant.
Yes, yes, sir, Uncle Rodney.
Okay, there you go.
but the message, again, humor aside, don't miss the message to your point, to both your points is, if you don't ask to be fed, then you won't get fed. Because as a child, the table at one point was taller than your ability to reach.
Yeah,
and you tugged on an apron and said, "I'm hungry," and you were given something, either to get you to be quiet or to get you to go to sleep.
Probably get you to be quiet,
because a full belly make you sleep, you know. But again, in all seriousness, that is very important. Be willing to ask, and our job here is to do our very best to try and be a resource for you, to position you to refine the way you ask.
Absolutely.
And so the first step to asking, I think you mentioned it earlier, Jesse, was to take step number 1 and identify yourself.
We got to know who you are.
And you identify yourself at
www.Playbook with an S, network.com.
Oh, my God. Here y'all go again. Y'all killing me. www.Playbook with an S, network.com. Man, it's such a wonderful thing to be on set, you know, Gwen, with yourself, you, Jesse. It's an honor to have you as a partner, have you, Gwen, as a strategic partner. And we have many more strategic partners. And like I said, as we continue to do this show, we'll start to bring more and more people from the industry who are subject matter experts, who really understand, you know, it may be a segment on just business plan writing, you know, in general, and what that takes from A to Z.
Sure.
There'll be a session on succession planning.
Yep.
You know, a lot of businesses don't understand what a succession plan is or what a key man insurance policy is.
Because mortality is real.
Yeah, it's real. And we will have those type of shows. We want the listeners to call in, to ask questions. And if you don't understand something, we don't wear our feelings on our chest at all. We just want to be here as a resource to tell you exactly, you know, how to do it. It doesn't make us always the skill set person, because that's why we have partners.
Right. I mean, because there may be subject matter for which, you know, we may be out of our depth.
Yeah.
But just know that while no person is an island of ideas, and there's no singular point as a resource, the whole point of this is we will make note if there's something that you call in about, and we can't address that particular issue on that particular day. Understand, we will make note of it. Because,
absolutely.
Because the whole point of you calling was because there was something that wasn't clear or something you wanted to know, and we will get that information to you.
And that'll be the purpose of the portal, too, is to go in, and the education is there 24/7.
Yep.
And not only is there 24/7, you know, we video every subject matter expert in the portal, so that if you really don't understand what a business plan is, you can click that button and see a human person talking about really what truly is a business plan, or what is a succession planning.
Absolutely.
You know, what is your key man insurance? What is your audit financials? And we'll have companies like our partners in Hoskins come up from Tennessee to talk about exactly what accounting is and why you need this audit financials, you know, for the investor community, or for actually even for the corporations.
That's right.
Some corporations now want you to have audit financials as well, because they want to know that you're a good business.
And it has to be a part of that proposal that you
right,
that you submit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
all gets back to that whole character piece. Okay. Are you legit?
Are you legit?
Are you legit?
Too legit to quit?
Oh man,
we're gonna do some MC Hammer up in here.
well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Rod.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that the biggest takeaway from that is, again, and this is a resounding theme in the spirit of last week's show. This is a process. Let's be willing to go through and complete the process.
Yeah.
If we do that, then now we can have reasonable expectations.
That's right.
Reasonable expectations.
Yeah.
You know, because your ambitions are one thing, but misguided expectations are another. And this is about going through and let's align ourselves in a way where we can be that resource. You can access the points that have value to you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then from there, you say, you know what? I do believe that I can use that particular resource to help me. That subject matter expert spoke to the very issue that I was thinking about, or that my accountant brought to the fore.
Right.
But I just didn't feel comfortable asking him or her. But I can hit replay on this all night long.
All night.
That's right.
And like Gwen says, you're working in the day
and
you're working in the night. So you can go back and replay this all day long.
And I think what I heard you say, Jesse, is that when you go in and you go through the process, then you can expect the yes.
Expect the yes.
So one thing we want to do is make sure we let this listening audience know every week prior to the show who's actually going to be on the show. So we'll start to get that out. You can go to the Facebook, or you can go, if you stream live on Roku, you can also see everything on Roku. But also Facebook at KYND 1520 Radio. You can actually see the live show or go back and see the show again. So we will try to make sure that we get all of our listeners exactly who's coming on every week, so that everybody be prepared if they really want to listen in. We want you listening. We want you to chime in every week. But we want to thank you so much. Again, KYND Radio 1520. And to my team, Penn Global News, and our partners who are not here today. We miss AD today.
Missed AD
and
today.
Damon and Doc. We miss all you guys.
Doc,
Shauna. I don't know what Shauna Day. Where's Shauna J today?
Where's Shauna J?
She didn't show up today, but okay. But truly, it's an honor and a blessing to be here at KYND Radio 1520. To all our listeners, have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and happy Father's Day to all fathers.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Talk that inspires change. A powerful 1520.
Hello, this is Fred Hoyer coming to you from